Okay, so here we go with a little test run here in the Photoshop again. This is a comic book page for a graphic novel I've been working on this year and hope to continue with. And yeah, that's about it. This is called War Torn. That's the name of this book. And so what I have here is a rough sketch of how I want the scenes to be. This is a simple sort of a narrative page where the narrator basically starts telling the story. Not always recommended in a lot of comic books that you go into this much narration because they prefer that you just tell the story, don't spell it out so much, and just let people figure it out for themselves. But this is one of those situations where first of all, I'm not complaining because the story is very long, very complicated, and as a matter of fact, that's why it's such a great book. The complexity of the plot twists is it needs some narration, and also it just came out like this. I don't mind it at all. I like to break the rules all the time and not listen to what the pros say sometimes, because sometimes it's what the pros are not brave enough to do that is the next big thing. So you have to try different things sometimes. One thing that I'm curious about in Photoshop that I'm not used to is whether or not I can flip the image while and maintain the text layer here, right? So if I put in some let's say hello, this is some text. Don't ask me why it's in red. I have absolutely no idea. Oh, this is some text. It's another Photoshop thing, I guess. Maybe I was using red last time. I doubt it. And so we'll see how that works. Moving it. And then we can go up here to image, and I'll have to use the mouse for this. Cannot rotate the image right now. What if I select a different layer? Okay, image rotation. I'm going to click it horizontally, go into the text layer again, and I can still edit the text. That's great. That is one bonus I've found so far. Just one. That is an improvement over GIMP. That's just one of many things, but that is that's cool. I'm glad about that. Also, wrapping text in a lot of stuff having to do with text in the GIMP is just not that good. Actually, I should say it's just horrible. Their recent advancements to improve upon it were annoying, and I mean, I admire what they're doing, and I probably couldn't do it myself, although I haven't even tried, but maybe I could. It's just, yeah, I don't know what they're trying to achieve. Who would use text, and why would they do it the way that they have it there? Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. The other thing I'm worried about is I have a lot of comic book pages that I want to bring over into this software here, and change the color. Will I or will I not be able to let me take a look at this too while we're here. This is pretty much exactly the same as the GIMP, spot on right here. They copied this. I guess it's not a hard thing to make this color wheel because every software seems to do that about the same. Back down to the sketch layer here, and we're drawing with a pen. That's fine. I want to go zoom in a little and move it. Okay. So the other thing I'm worried about, as I was about to say, is whether or not I can, if I can maintain the style. Obviously, it's going to be my same hand that's drawing this, but will I be able to, get the same kind of look and feel that I did with the GIMP? Okay. So, for example, right here. I'm getting very confused, so I'm not used to these controls at all. This is my eraser. Okay. Eraser I can put on the bigger size. This is only a sketch layer, which I plan to go over. Okay. So, right now I'm at 25 pixels. I'm going to go down to, it's usually about 10 is what I have. Yeah, there we go. And I guess if it's like that, you can't really complain, can you? It looks just like a pen. It is what it is. So that's that. I'll have to zoom in a little bit. I'm working very, very slowly here, not used to this Photoshop stuff. And we're going to go into eraser mode. Obviously these people are all slanted. It was just quick, sloppy sketches. I think I already did this. I'm having like deja vu. I did do this. I drew these people's heads already, and then what I just did is I kind of deleted all the files and re-imported them from my other hard drive, because while I'm switching softwares, I'm also switching computers, and I realized some files were out of date, so I had to bring them over. So this is going to be a great book. It would be overly optimistic to say I'd have it done by the end of this year, but mid next year guaranteed will be done. I'm hoping early next year, and it's a great story, a great read. I have, as far as my art goes in this so far, I can't brag too much. I have some good pages in here, I'll tell you that. There's some cool stuff. You get some good emotional pages, and there's a lot of weird things, like pretty well detailed architecture, stuff like this on certain pages. And there's a lot of this is, as the title tells you a little bit, it's sort of it's called War Torn, and there's kind of a struggle, a battle that's taking place. There's going to be a lot of action, so that part of it's going to be good. I think it should turn out okay. The setting is in Puerto Rico, which is also unique, right? It's not another, oh, here we are again in New York City with a superhero. No, none of that. None of that at all, which is very good. It's not to say I don't like that stuff. It's just tiring. You know how many nuclear-made superheroes with the last name of Man? That's kind of funny. Their last name is all Man. They all come from the same family, I guess. The Man family. How's the Man family doing? Superman and Spider-Man, and yeah, it's a strange family. They all name their kids first names, always named after animals and stuff, or adjectives that you'd normally use for powerful resources. Animals and resources family. It's a masculine family, apparently, and not to be reckoned with. The Man family, Spider-Man and Batman, and you can't mess with those guys. So, but for this one, it's a totally different thing. We have, and don't get me wrong, I love all those comic books. I read them. My favorite is, the Dark Knight Returns, and the things that are a little bit more realistic. They kind of like bring real, genuine characters with their actual pain and suffering, and the responsibility, which is also why Spider-Man was a great one. Batman is great, and Spider-Man was great, because although he was, the interesting part of the characters is their turmoil sometimes, not just, the fact they can fly around and do things, but they have lives, and the responsibility that they have to deal with. If you can make a good story out of that, then it's interesting. This character, his name is Dante, and I'm trying to remember while I do this. Actually, his hair should be kind of spiked. That's the definition I received, was spiked hair. So, or profile description was spiked hair. I'll do that. And the meaning of this video is null and void, nil. I'm just doing a video. This might as well be what they call a vlog, right? Cannot remember how this guy's clothes goes. All of a sudden I forget everything. It's relatively important, but I forget. I think he's just wearing a t-shirt. I can add that later. It's not important. It is important, but I'll figure it out later. So I'm just sketching. This is, sometimes I do like 3 sketch modes. It might seem like it's a waste of time, but it's not, because, well, I'll argue that it's not. You can disagree if you want to. Oh, I can zoom on this. If I click, if I hold the button, it goes out, in, out, in. No, that doesn't work at all, actually. Okay, but I can hold the Alt button. go like this. I guess that's better. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, the argument is whether or not it's good to have many sketch modes. Well, if you can draw perfectly on the first go round, then I guess go for it. But even if that's the case, even if you have that steady of a hand and a perfect eye-hand coordination balanced with your imagination, and you know exactly what you want to draw and everything, if that's the case, then wouldn't doing a sketch make it even all the more better? Even if you're that good, and do some thumbnails first. I think the best artists in the world, or any ones that I've ever studied or looked at, they all do sketches. Even like if you go back to Leonardo da Vinci and all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle artists from the Renaissance, they all have they'd all do sketches, and a lot of them would do multiple paintings of their oil paintings too. It wasn't just one; they'd do the same painting over and over, and that's why they got so good. Some of the paintings, because they did them a lot more than just once, and that would happen with great all kinds of great art. The what do you call yeah, because I'm talking and drawing at the same time, so they like sculpture is basically what I was looking for. The 3D art, even with sculpture, you'd find that there's a lot of redos. The stone would even break sometimes. They're sculpting in the rock and stone and stuff, and it could break. Now I have this guy here. I'm wondering about his position. You have this guy who's obviously pointing to a map or something. That's going to be Puerto Rico. And obviously, well, I mean, not obviously, I don't know what Puerto Rico looks like, the shape of it at all. I have to look that up. If you're from Puerto Rico, you're probably thinking, that doesn't look like Puerto Rico. Well, doesn't necessarily have to be like the island of, or the country of Puerto Rico. This is just some cities and territories within that area. So it's not that important. But I might go look up some reference for that. But I'm wondering if this guy is in a good position. He's here with his little pointing stick and the map and stuff. Is that the best position? Because he's kind of like, you have these two guys caught up here. I'd like to move them back a little bit, but then I'm running out of space. I might just leave them there, and I'll compensate for it with the line work when the shading, when I get into it. I do like that slice of life kind of feeling in a lot of my drawing, where it's not necessarily like the composition is always perfect and everybody is right in the middle, and there's that kind of random stuff happening here and there. So a little bit of that. You gotta have some composition too. And remember, this is backwards for a reason. I'm going to flip it around and see how it looks, because it was very much imbalanced previously. So flip it horizontally, and that's not too bad. I can live with that. Zoom in a little. Yeah, that's actually this video. I'm really just not doing anything. I'm just doing some sketches. I wanted to get some more practice with this new video software and this, and the next video, which might be coming up right after this one, will be doing some painting in a Photoshop. So that's the end of this one. And I will be working on this comic more. If you want to keep up with this comic, this page right here might not be the best example. I'll show you some better examples of the pages in later videos. But it's going to be a really good book called War Torn. And if you want to certainly keep up with that, and go ahead and look for my links in the YouTube in the comments under this area, and you can see I have many methods available to keep in touch with me with the Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. And that's it. If you happen to watch this video, then thanks for watching. Have a good day.